Jacksonville.
I mean, everybody wants to get double-digit sacks, but for me, I just want to be a total, complete football player. I want to be able to stop the run because we can't rush the pass without stopping the run. And once we do that, then that allows us out of the quarterbacks. But I mean, like I said, I just want to come out here and be the best overall player that I can be every day.
Play fake again. Flacco gets hit this time, and he's going to get sacked. Trayvon Walker got him in the backfield. Second sack of the day for Trayvon. He got him back at the 46-yard line.
I feel like, the sky's the limit for me. I'm just scratching the surface of my potential. And I'm just, me being on the field is what's going to allow me to reach my potential. So that's my focus.
Mills pass is intercepted. It's Tyson Campbell with his second interception of the season.
What up, y'all? It's DeJuan Smoot. I'm back. Smoot Gang is back. What up, Jags fans? Let's get it. Hey, get a Duval on 1, 2, 3. Duval! Let's go.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are on the practice field right now. 3-day mandatory minicamp, which is the fashion around the National Football League. 30 teams have a mandatory minicamp this week as they'll shut it down after that and maybe get a little golf in at Lake Tahoe and wait for training camp and hopefully stay healthy. And today we'll talk about some of the biggest storylines facing the Jaguars. They can't answer everything in the next 3 days, but 3 days and 5 storylines we'll be looking at today that we're interested in following. Good morning. I'm Mike Dempsey. Tony Smith has the week off. Dylan Denmark, how are you?
Mike, we got a highest paid punter.
Well, we did.
Oh.
We did. I was very excited for Logan Cook and still excited for Logan Cook and the Jags, by the way. Jags made him the highest paid punter in the league. How long did that last, Dylan? 2 hours?
Not even.
Something like that. I don't know what the timing was on when Michael Dixon got his
I think it was
done.
like 3 or 4. It wasn't long.
Okay, it was in the same afternoon, basically. But Logan Cook did not go to bed at night as the highest paid punter. Let's put it that way. Logan Cook got a 4-year deal that averages $4 million a year. And really, with the salary cap continuing to rise, that's a drop in the salary cap bucket for a guy who delivers and does his job among the best in the league year after year after year. So, very well deserved. It's not, nobody gets excited about, hey, we signed the punter to an extension, but it's kind of a necessary evil that you got to have. He's a great player that you hope never has to take the field, right? Ideally, you just keep churning out first downs and scores, but we know that's not reality. But, yeah, Seattle had Michael Dixon at the top of the list, I think, or was A.J. Cole of the Raiders the highest
The Raiders
paid?
Was 2 days ago. Then it was Cook.
Okay, because Dixon had been at like $3.75 million. And anyway, but when Cook got his deal, I don't know if he's got I wonder if Dixon's got like something written in his contract that he must be the highest paid punter. I really don't know, but they immediately, after Logan Cook got a deal that averaged $4 million a year, they gave Michael Dixon a contract that averaged $4,050,000 a year. Which by our standards, hey Dylan, would you like an extra $50,000?
Yes or yes.
How much would that impact your life if somebody laid $50,000 on you?
I could fully fund my Roth IRA.
All right, well there you go. Dylan's a very conscientious, fiscally sound young man. We're talking Roth IRAs at 27. At 27, Dylan, I would not have been putting $50,000 towards a Roth IRA.
You've been putting $50,000 on black on roulette?
No, that's you apparently. It's funny because you are fiscally responsible. So you went to Vegas.
Yep.
How far? A couple months back?
That was our March Madness, so middle of March.
Okay, and that was a good experience.
It was awesome.
Right?
$400 at the craps table.
You're going to Denver.
Next weekend.
Yep. And you've discovered that they have casinos in Denver.
Yeah, and it's about 45 minutes outside Denver, so close enough.
Okay, close enough, right? Have we talked about this? Are you bringing your golf clubs to Denver?
No, I'm not. No, we haven't talked about this. I'm not bringing them.
Okay, because I did I think it was 2007, 2008, back-to-back years. Jags played the Broncos in Denver. Just kind of one of those quirks of the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And back at the time, I was like the Jaguar roadie guy for 1010XL, and I'd go to all the games on the road, and I'd do the locker room stuff. And it wasn't like it is now, where you can get pretty much everything instantaneously on the internet, So I had to go to the locker room, do interviews, go back to the hotel, hook up to a computer, download them, upload them, whatever, the whole 9 yards, and email them back. And it's just a little process. But going to Denver, the way I think, you can't really fly in that morning. At least you shouldn't if you don't want to stretch yourself too thin. But so you come in Saturday, I'd fly out at like 6 in the morning. I'd make a tee time for that Saturday afternoon, and I'd lug my clubs out there because you got that mile-high altitude, bro, and it is a legit thing. You hit your driver 20 yards further, same shot's going to go 20 yards further.
A lot of hills on the course you played at?
There was some good elevation on there. Not a ton. I played more elevated courses in North Carolina than the one, but it was just like I played the same course like 2 years in a row. Is what I did when I went. I couldn't tell you what the course was in Denver. Trust me, I'm sure it wasn't the top of the food chain because your boy wasn't dropping crazy money on a solo round of golf on the road. But I did have first time I ever broke 40. I think on a legitimate 9 holes was at that course in Denver, but it wasn't because of the altitude. I was just putting the eyes at it. The ball. Anyway, so you're going to Denver in a couple of weeks, right? Then you just told me you're going down to the Hard Rock Casino for a vacation?
Yeah, well, we the fellas that we golfed with the other day, we planned a trip to Hard Rock down in Tampa. This was like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, okay, I did good in Vegas, and then I had already planned a trip in Denver, but I didn't know in the state of Colorado that you could play, casinos.
Right.
And so, I'm just going to double dip.
So you've been studying Baccarat?
Yes.
How do you say Baccarat?
Yeah,
Baccarat.
I say both. I think people say Baccarat.
Baccarat, right?
And you just bet player or banker. It's the closest game to 50-50 you can win. And it's the closest to 9.
Do you feel like you have a handle on how to play this now?
I've been playing a lot of free versions on the internet.
Okay.
With
better than not, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's all luck.
Now, what will your budget be when you go to Denver?
I probably, the first table I'll go to will either be the Craps Taylor or Baccarat, and I'll start with 100.
Okay, but when you came out net ahead $400 coming out of Vegas.
Yep.
So that's everything included. All your gambling, you came out $400.
I came out with a profit of $400. Yeah.
$400 profit.
Yep.
I mean, you can look at it like, hey, go in with a $400 budget, and for the year, you're no worse off. You know what I mean? And
yeah. I mean, my plane ticket out there and back round trip is about, I think, 400-ish.
Okay.
And we're going to go to a Dodger Rockies game.
Nice.
On that Tuesday. I'm going to see the legendary comedian Dave Attell. That's Saturday night when I fly in next weekend. Who is this?
David? He's a legend?
Yeah, Dave Attell. Never heard of him?
Is he? You said legendary.
Yeah,
I've never heard of the guy.
Oh, man.
Okay.
New York legend.
New York legend. Yeah. Still don't know him. Anyway.
That hurts.
David Attell?
Dave Attell. D-A-V-E.
Okay, I thought you said David Tell. Dave Attell. Still have never heard of him. By the way, it looks maybe vaguely familiar, but it could be he looks like any number of my uncle and aunt's relatives up in
Yeah, he does
Brooklyn.
look like a homeless person. He dresses like one.
Are you saying my uncles and aunts up in Brooklyn and cousins all hang out with homeless people?
No, well, that's how Dave dresses.
All right. Anyway, so that you got a lot going on. You know, I don't want to lose you to the dark underbelly of the gambling world.
No, if I lose that 100, I'm gonna walk out and be done.
Oh, that's some discipline. I'd have a bigger budget.
I can't do that. I can't be like we're doubling up here. We're gonna and then double up again.
You're plus 400 to the good for the year. Of course, I don't know what you're doing on Hard Rock Bet these days.
Oh, I'm not doing nothing.
Oh no,
I'm doing like $20 on the golf majors. Me and JJ, we got a golf pool. So.
Okay.
Of about 15, 20 some odd people. If you win, you get a lot of money. If you get second place, you get your money back.
I got you.
That's about it.
All right.
Hard Rock is sports betting is tough, and you only double your money. I'm only gonna put like $20 on a game or something. You know,
people post all their, oh, this is what I won this, I won that, and I'm like, all right, show me your losses. I don't know, man. Hey, look, if you're good at it and you can make money at it, it's legal, you're an adult, go for it. I'm not your dad, go do whatever you want to do. And I'm not talking just to Dylan. I'm half Dylan's dad. I don't know. Not
only
really.
on the golf course.
Just on the golf course, yeah. I'm his golf daddy. But anyway, today, Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. We posted it yesterday to give you an early start to think about it if you'd like to participate today. And we're asking you, what are the top 5 Jacksonville Jaguars storylines you look forward to following throughout this week's mandatory minicamp? Now, the difficulty of this question, it's tough to know what is going to be talked about, right? And there's only so much that can be revealed, like starting lineups and player combinations and things like that, and where guys are lining up in the slot, on the outside, which backs are working with the first team. You're not really supposed to delve into that. You know, it's a competitive disadvantage if you put that out there. Now, if it's an open practice to the public, it's a little bit different. And obviously anything that the coaches talk about after practice is fair game to be discussed. But, you know, there are certain times they tell you, okay, they break practice down into like 12 or 15 periods or however many they've got, and everyone lasts a certain amount of time, and they'll tell you, you know, all right, you can film, for instance, for the TV people and for the people like at 1010XL posting web content for us, you can film maybe the first 6 sessions of practice. Well, like the first 2 are like stretching and basic warm-up drills and stuff like that. So there's not a whole lot there. But then they don't want you showing formations and stuff like that. And they discourage the filming from the crowd as well after a certain point. Because I've thought this for years, Dylan. If you've got an open practice, like if teams in the AFC South hold open to the public practices, it's malpractice by the Jaguars to not have somebody in that audience. Am I wrong?
100%.
Right?
If it's open to the public, it's everybody.
You should be there. Now, I don't know what the rules are, honestly, about sending a scout there or something like that. But if it's open to the public, I don't understand why you couldn't just sit there and take mental notes, if nothing else, you know, of, I saw this formation, and when they did this, that was a tip-off.
I'm sure it's happened in the history of the NFL.
You would think so. I'm saying it should happen across the board, don't you think? Right? I mean, that's a competitive advantage. It's not like you're going to a closed practice as a spy with a camera and trying to film it. I'm just talking about something where the public is invited to go. I don't know what the NFL rules are on that, but that's one that I hope you kind of push the envelope on if you're a team that wants to be competitive in your division. We've got Lauren Brooks among, I couldn't tell you how many of the 1010XL contingent are out at minicamp right now, a bunch for sure. Lauren's going to stop by in about an hour and 10 minutes probably on the phone as practice will have wrapped up at that point in time. Liam Cohn will speak afterwards. We'll try to bring you some of his thoughts before the end of our show today. But Dylan and I will focus on our countdowns and yours as well today. So you can give us your Tuesday top 5, your top 5 Jaguar storylines you look forward to following throughout this week's mandatory minicamp. You can do it on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines at 641-1010. Same number for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also hop into the YouTube virtual studio and post in the chat there, or, of course, on social media at MD_1010XL and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
All right, so we are ready to roll. We'll begin the countdown when we return and focus on that primarily, the storylines we're interested in following, and our thoughts on where they're going to go as well throughout the course of the next 3 days. And that's as far as what we'll be able to hear about them anyway, and time will tell on that front. So buckle in. We're ready to go. Jaguar talk for the next couple hours. It's the last time the Jags will be on the field. For the next 3 days will be the last time until training camp 2025 rolls around in late July, early August. Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark, Tony Smith has the week off. You're listening to Jaguars Today, and we invite you to keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Apex Roofing and Contracting. Apex means the peak, the best. They are the peak of the business in the roofing and contracting industry here in Jacksonville. They're located in Jacksonville Beach. Look, rainy season is no joke. If your roof has damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, you can't afford to wait. Apex is local. They're dependable. They're going to show up on time. They're going to use only the most premium materials with ironclad warranties. They take no shortcuts, no stress, only quality work you can trust. Reach for the peak. That's Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach, or online at apexroofingfl.com.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service.
Don't answer that.
Yeah.
What's your name?
This is 1010XL.
What are you?
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracts. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through June 30th. And financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Say goodbye to glasses and contacts with customized vision treatments at Bowden Associates. Hey, Hicken here. Dr. Bowden and his expert team bring you all the latest options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses, refractive lens exchange, or traditional LASIK. Tailored just for you. Imagine waking up to clear vision. No hassle, no fuss. You ready to see the difference? Call now or visit Bowden.com for a free screening. Bowden Associates, keeping the first coast focused.
Jeff Prosser here for Lloyd's Heating and Air. Need a leader for commercial, retail, multifamily, or hospitality projects? Or top-tier residential service? No gimmicks, no mascots, just real expertise and hard work. As your trusted statewide mechanical partner and local family-owned team, Lloyd's is the name Northeast Florida counts on. Visit Lloyd'sHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air, keeping you comfortable in every season.
Have you been diagnosed with moderate to severe opioid use disorder? You may qualify for a new clinical research study. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso is now enrolling participants to evaluate the effectiveness of a non-opioid medication treatment option for OUD. Qualified participants will receive study-related care at no cost and may be eligible for reimbursement of travel and accommodations. To qualify, applicants must be 18 to 65 years old, have been diagnosed with moderate to severe opioid use disorder, and have not been on medication to treat opioid use in the last 3 months. The study lasts up to 22 weeks, with weekly visits during treatment. If you're ready to explore a new path forward, visit OUDstudy.com for more details and qualifications. Take the first steps and visit OUDstudy.com. That's OUDstudy.com. OUDstudy.com.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Zero Res. Gang, vacuuming is not sufficient to maintain the cleanliness and lifespan of your carpet, period. Do not, let me repeat, do not leave deep cleaning to yourself, but do it yourself dirt attracting carpet soaking machines. No, no, no. Call on the cleaning freaks from Zero Res. Big summer savings. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take 20% off air duct cleaning as well. Call them, 904-287-5727, and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spelled forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Spring has sprung, and so have the bugs. It's Hayes Carline, and my friends at Kingfish Pest Control offer an exclusive $99 spring special. That's right, your initial pest control service is just $99. And if you call today, they'll include a free one-time mosquito treatment. Kingfish Pest Control is family-owned, 5-star rated with no binding contracts, and 100% satisfaction guarantee. Call them now to book your service. Only at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Neck pain, back pain, or headache, Shinatri Chiropractic has 4 locations: Westside, 103rd, Riverside, Arlington, and the Beaches. Acupuncture, dry needling, physical therapy. Relief starts today. Shinatri Chiropractic, 743-6700.
Summer means fun in all forms. Longer days and more chances to soak up the sun and the fun. Budweiser and Bud Light reminding you to drink wiser. Hydrate between beers and don't sweat it. It's the best way to get home safely.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you. Tony Smith has the week off. He'll be back on Monday. Dylan got I think it's a handwritten letter from a listener, Bill, up in Georgia. And the impressive thing was he said some things about the show. He's listening along, and he was talking about when we were out at camp, at OTAs, whatever, and all the bugs were getting after me in my white shirt. And he just, said, well, that's what it is. It's the white shirt. But anyway, he mentioned you, and he spelled your name right. So that made me...
Many people do not spell my name right, so
no,
I appreciate it.
You're the D-Y-L-A-N guy.
Correct.
Which is, I get I feel like D-I-L-L-O-N is more of a last name spelling. But
yeah,
that's me. I don't know.
Tim Dillon, the comedian.
Or Matt Dillon. You're going to mention a bunch of comedians I don't know, right? By the way, the guy, Dave Attell.
Yes.
Several people on the text line go, oh, he is a legend. Insomniac from Comedy Central. I'm not doubting that he's a very good comedian. I'm just saying, to me, legend, I don't know. Richard
Legends
Pryor's
like
a legend.
Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, there's no question about it. But he's a very well-regarded comedian. And so anyway, I'm just not familiar with him. But there you go. So you've got a lot of backing. A lot of people agree with you on that. Anyway, I just want to say thank you to Bill for taking the time to write a handwritten letter. I assume this is handwritten. I was looking at it there's no smut. It's done with a fine tip marker, it looks like, but there's no smudging whatsoever. It almost made me think it was a font, but I think he hand wrote it. So thank you, Bill, up in Richmond Hill, Georgia, for giving us some feedback on the show. Old school, snail mail.
Typewriter.
I don't think it was a typewriter. Not with that font. Have you ever used a typewriter?
Used one, no. Seen one, a couple.
Seen one. All right. I took typing in high school. I got an A somehow. I have no idea how. I can't type. I'm mainly a 3-finger typer is what I am. But anyway, we weren't word processor people back in the day, so still on at least electric typewriters. Today, we're looking at your top 5 storylines, or our top 5 storylines that we're interested. Dylan, we're going to run short on time if we don't at least begin. So why don't we start the countdown, working 5 to 1 today, and see where things stand.
Number 5.
All right, why don't you give us your number 5 storyline that you're most interested in hearing about this week?
All right,
Dylan?
you asked this question yesterday, so I came up with my list last night, and number 5 I had... Will the media see Travis Hunter on defense for the first time? And we got that answer pretty quick because he is on the field right now doing DB drills, at least individuals, one-on-one. Well, if you look at 1010XL on Instagram and Twitter, he's with Milo, the DB coach, and doing individual drills right now. The last couple of weeks, he's only been on offense, at least with the media. The only time he's been on defense is with no one watching. It's been, the Jaguars posting a video, him making a play. So at least the media can see him on defense today, and we can see, what he's doing and what position and all things like that.
Yeah, well, we haven't had consecutive days when the media's been allowed to be out there. Last week at OTAs, it was Monday and Thursday, but most of the OTAs have been all right, one day open to media, and he just has been being, I don't know, force-fed, but starting out with the onboarding process. They love those terms now, in terms of working with the offense and learning that and getting it down. And keep in mind, Travis Hunter himself has said DB just comes very naturally to him. That's the easy stuff to him. So we'll see today. But you're right. The fans probably won't get to see him on defense, but the ones who are going tomorrow would probably rather see him catch passes from Trevor Lawrence anyway. So, all right. So you've got the Travis Hunter on defense experiment. By the way, Keith said he's a niche comedian. Your boy David Tell. I don't know.
He's very dry.
A lot of people like him. So I know that based on the responses I got. All right, me, I've got number 5, and this is, I'll put apologies to De'Ami Brown because I've enjoyed watching his integration into the offense because he's gotten a lot of targets throughout the times I've been out there and the times when it has been open to media's prying eyes, but I left that one off. And I went with this for number 5. Who impresses at safety, particularly at the free safety position? You know, we were talking yesterday with Hayes Carline of the Frangie Show, and he thinks that it'll be a disappointment if Caleb Ransaw is not the opening day starter at one of those spots. They signed Eric Murray, gave him decent money. He figures to be the strong safety. But, man, I tell you, you go out there, and it's like almost every other practice, Andrew Wingard makes a play. You know what I mean? And like, he is a guy that is noticeable around the football. Don't know if he has a legitimate chance to overtake both Darnell Savage and the rookie and Caleb Ransaw. I'm sure they'd love Caleb Ransaw to win this job. I just haven't seen much from him. That doesn't mean he hasn't been doing some good things, but a lot of times as they get deep into practice, if it's a weekday and they're going into the team stuff, I got to leave. I got to get back here and get on the air. So I haven't seen a ton from Caleb Ransaw. I'm not saying he hasn't done anything. I'm just saying I'd like to see or at least hear about how he's coming along because I think a lot of people expect Wyatt Milam to win the starting left guard job. Well, Ransaw went one pick ahead of him. I'm sure they're looking at getting him on the field as quickly as possible. He's got that speed, that playmaking ability. He is making a transition from being a primary nickel corner to safety. So does he impress in this environment? Is Antonio Johnson a completely forgotten man? We haven't heard much about him. Haven't seen anything that stood out. Where does Rayan Lane fit in this mix? Is he going to be just the special teamer? Or does he have a chance to play somewhere in the safety rotation? And as I mentioned, Dewey is out there. Still got Daniel Thomas. So a lot of people competing for not a lot of spots. Not all those names I just read off are going to make this team. I don't think you're carrying 7 safeties. So imagine if you're Cameron Silman Craig, who's probably the clear-cut number 8 safety on the depth chart right now. You're taking a hard look at that practice squad. But safety play and who impresses, I've got at number 5. Let's get one more in.
Number 4.
All right, I'll lead off with this one. Number 4 for me is the running back rotation. I expect it to be Travis Etienne getting first dibs and then Tank Bigsby. But who flashes? And again, this is not fully padded contact practice, so you can't get the full running back experience here. I always reference at least once a year, I feel like MJD told me years ago, he goes, man, we need to run the ball in the preseason. And I remember one year they were just really trying to get the passing game going. He's like, it is so important to have the feel of your run fits with your offensive lineman. And you can try to simulate that in non-padded practices. I don't think you get the full experience, but I'm going to be watching for ball security as much as anything, Dylan, because Bajal Tootin, infamously, first touch here in a Jaguar practice, laid the ball on the ground, right? It didn't get hit. That was the one concern, at least my one concern about him coming in. Some people look at his size. I think he's big enough to get the job done. Tank Bigsby's had ball security issues at times. So has Travis Etienne. Whoever hangs on to the football is going to put themselves in a pretty good position. And can a guy like LaKent Allen impress enough to do a number of things here? Can you force the hand of the coaching staff to maybe keep 4 running backs, or could they look at a scenario if they get the right offer that they'd be willing to move on from Travis Etienne, who likely in almost any scenario is playing his last year as a Jacksonville Jaguar? If you feel like you've got a trio that can give you everything that Etienne gives you and you can spread the work between them, you can save a roster spot there. So I just think the whole way the running back position plays out is something I'm going to be keeping a keen eye on. probably more as we get into training camp, but definitely want to hear about what's happening there this week. What do you got it for?
I'm going to say the relationship between Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen, is it going to be taking a step further than it was in OTAs? OTAs, you're learning the lingo, you're learning the language of the new coach. You see some mistakes, that's fine. But minicamp, it's kind of hard to say, how far up a step you take from minicamp from OTAs. We had Coach Campo on last night with Hacker, and he said, you do take a step up, but it's not as much of, what you think it is because you're still not in pads. So is that relationship still going to be going good? Are they going to take another step? And, is Trevor going to take another step in the offense and connecting with the guys, understanding the playbook from OTAs? It's kind of hard to see right now, obviously, but, I think Liam Cohen probably after practice today, he's going to talk every day, today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Is he going to take that next step in the offense and understanding what Liam Cohen wants to run?
Well, just mentioning today, tomorrow, and Thursday, I think one of the storylines is, are we going to get 3 days of minicamp, right? It's
true.
Teams love to cancel that last day. It's like, man, you're going to have a month and a half off. Take advantage of, especially new coach, new staff, new system on both sides of the ball. I mean, so much newness here. The roster, the 90-man roster's got like 47, 50 guys that weren't here last year. So I would take advantage of every opportunity I could have to have these guys on the practice field. It's not like it's that grueling. 3 days in a row. They're done around 11 o'clock. They're missing the heat of the day. I'm really hoping they're not going to come up with some team building nonsense on Thursday. You want to go do some team building? At least do half the practice before you get out of there. But, nobody wants to team build on Thursday anyway. If you're going to cancel it, they want to get out of here and start what's left of their summer or their off season. But that's one we'll keep an eye on. All right, so Trevor Lawrence's, grasp of the Liam Cohen offense you've got at number 4 and what we can tell from that. We'll continue the countdown on the other side. Send us your lists as well. What are the top 5 storylines for the Jacksonville Jaguars you're looking forward to hearing more about throughout the course of the next 3-day minicamp? Lauren Brooks will check in a little less than an hour from now with her minicamp observations, and then we'll bring you some of that Liam Cohen audio we just talked about late in the program today. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. I played golf with D-Rock on Saturday, and Dylan, I hit a stray shot, and it was headed right for a house, and I thought I was going to break my first window ever on a golf course. I didn't. Fortunately, that wasn't the case a few years ago when somebody crashed a golf ball through my living room window, and I just decided, you know what, enough is enough. I'm upgrading the house. I'm replacing all the windows and doors, and I'm going to Pella. Pella Windows and Doors, Consumer Reports will tell you, number 1 in all the major window categories right now, 0% financing for 60 months, 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. You can visit them online at PellaJacks.com or stop by their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Here's another look behind the microphone at 1010XL with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
You're such a diva. Let me tell you something. If we were a band, you know who you'd be? You'd be Mick Jagger.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Why do we have to fight? DUI? DUI? Don't stress. Call me Malcolm Anthony at 2854-LAW. That's 285-4LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
Got a leaky faucet? AC blowing hot air? No worries. Duck Rooter has your back. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Rooter, plumbing, septic, AC, and a whole lot of quacking good service.
Want a simple way to boost your company's image without a big renovation? A fresh paint job in your brand's colors can increase recognition up to 80%. At Performance Painting, we help companies stand out with clean, on-brand finishes that impress clients and energize employees. From color consultations to low-odor coatings that won't disrupt operations, we've got you covered. Visit performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Are your kids ready to play this summer?
Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y Summer Camps, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
It's the event everyone waits for. Now at Beard's Diamonds. Buy one, get one free on all wedding bands. Now for a limited time, when you buy his wedding band, get hers free. Buy hers, get his free. Save up to $10,000. Are you about to get married or been married for years thinking it's time for an upgrade? There's nothing that symbolizes your love more than the wedding band. Beard's has hundreds and hundreds of bands from top designers in white gold, yellow gold, rose gold, titanium, platinum, plain bands, channel set bands, pave set, eternity bands. And for men, masculine bands, wide, modern, with and without diamonds, hammered, brushed, engraved, lots of colors. Come to Beard's now and find the wedding band that reflects your style and your personality. Buy one, get the second one free. The big box corporate jewelry stores can't or won't do this, but Beard's can. And it's happening now through June 23rd. Buy one wedding band, get the second one free. Don't miss this opportunity to celebrate your eternal love with the eternal symbol. Beard's Diamonds at St. John's Town Center.
If you missed it, get it on demand.
And you send those out on the line.
Find your 1010XL favorites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com. Channel 5. Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
I'm Drew Scrimshire, president and publisher of the Jacksonville Business Journal. In business, timing is everything. That's why every morning at 8:15, our morning edition delivers the most important business news straight to the inboxes of Jacksonville's decision makers, executives, entrepreneurs, investors, and industry leaders. Want to know what the First Coast power players are reading before they start their day? Join them. Subscribe today to the Jacksonville Business Journal Morning Edition at bizjournals.com/Jacksonville.
Are you struggling with hair loss? At IHRS, we understand because we've been there too. We're dedicated to finding the best solution tailored just for you.
My hair looks great. It was thinning, and IHRS restored my hair.
It's now fuller, it's thicker, voluminous. It's made me feel great.
With the latest technology and FDA-approved laser therapy, PRP, and non-surgical hair addition, we offer guaranteed solutions for men and women.
With over 35 years of experience, IHRS found a hair restoration for us, and we can find one for you.
For me.
For me.
And me too.
Visit hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. Get a free microscopic analysis and get to the root of your problem. This $395 analysis is yours for free. Call 904-777-4477 now.
Prosser here. Spring has sprung, and it's a great time to sell your house, but only if you have the very best on your side, and those very best are Chad and Sandy Newman. Spring selling season's here. Rates are down. Activity's up. It's the best time in years to sell your home, in fact, but there are homes sitting on the market. They don't have the right representation. That's where Chad and Sandy step in. Maybe you're worried your home needs repairs or updating and it won't sell for a good price. Maybe your family's growing and you need more space. Whatever the reason that you need to sell your home, Chad and Sandy deliver this promise to you. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Sounds pretty hassle-free to me. Take it from Mike and Rosemary in St. Augustine. We were determined to buy an affordable home in a specific school zone, but we didn't qualify for the loan needed to get one. Chad and Sandy's team worked with the lender, negotiated a higher qualification price, lower interest. It was huge, $200 less per month. Do it today. Call 414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Somebody on the text line asking, have we seen Travis Hunter go up against Brian Thomas Jr. yet? And if so, how did it go? Well, we haven't seen it yet. Sure, it's happened, right? But again, the practices, the OTA practices that have been open to the media, Travis Hunter's not doing both in the same day. Right? He's doing offense or defense. And every day that's been open to the media prior to today, he has been on offense. So we haven't gotten to see with our own eyes that matchup. But today, I would hope we'd see a little of that, right?
Yeah, I think didn't the Jags post a picture of Hunter covering Brian Thomas Jr. like 2 weeks ago?
Like a picture of
that's
it, right?
all we've gotten.
But we haven't seen, like, what was the result of that? And did it look like he was shadowing him the whole way? I mean, that's phenomenal. Not only can Travis Hunter help make Brian Thomas Jr. a better player by drawing coverage to himself if he's off to a good start. You know, they're going to have that simpatico relationship, but they're going to make each other better in practice. It's like Travis Hunter will get better because he's going up against one of the best in the NFL. And I think Brian Thomas Jr. is one of the best. I heard Dan talk about it this morning. He said we think of him as the top, like, 6 or 7. I say safely give him top 12 right now, right? Like, fantasy numbers-wise, yeah, he's a top 7-ish, 8-ish guy. But just in terms of he's still got to round off some other areas of his game. I mean, I think there's room for growth with Brian Thomas Jr. Remember, he came in not having run a very complex route tree at LSU. At least that was the word, right? That very simplified. It's going to really take this guy some time. Well, the only thing that took him time was the coaching staff having the dawning realization that they had an alpha and they needed to just go to him regardless of the coverage. And they started force-feeding him the ball down the stretch, and his numbers were there. He backed it up with the performance. So, yeah, we haven't seen it play out, but I'll be interested. We'll ask Warren Brooks about that if they got a chance to go head-to-head at all today. And, again, we can't get into too many things. You know, that's more like I'm not going to ask where exactly in the formation he's lining up, but you have reps where guys go one-on-one versus wide receiver versus DB. Happens all the time in every practice at a certain point. So we'll get a sense, or maybe we won't, but we'll certainly ask about what he is showing on the defensive side of the ball. All right, Dylan, we left off with 5 and 4 completed, continuing our countdown of the top 5 storylines we're interested in hearing about. Let's continue.
Number 3.
What you got at 3?
I'm gonna go. My top 3 is gonna be all position groups. So I'm gonna say number 3 is the running back position.
Okay.
Who's getting the reps and how many of the reps are they getting? Are they splitting it evenly between Etienne, Tank, and Tootin? I have the belief that at least by the end of the season, Tootin is going to be the guy, the number 1 person getting the rock most of the time. Between now and then, I still think Etienne's going to be the main person, number 1. I don't think the Jags are going to trade him away. I think he's going to still be on the team. And I think Etienne's going to be the main guy. And then Tank is going to be, your third down guy and catching a couple of balls out of the backfield, possibly. But, how are you going to split those carries in these short 3 days of camp if they go all 3 days? Because that is the running back room for me is one of the 3 position groups that I'm still kind of iffy on how it's going to look throughout the season.
Yeah, look, I think Etienne gets the benefit of the doubt, the default. He's the veteran. He's still a youngish player. He's not old, but he's been here the longest. But, for everyone who says, oh, Etienne will finally have an offensive line to run behind, how do you explain Tank Bigsby outgaining him by a yard a carry? Right? I mean, Tank will have that new offensive line or a new combination of players to run behind as well. And you've got some challenges from some rookies as well. I'm with you. Like, if I had to bet opening day starter, I would say Travis Etienne. I don't know what the percentage I feel on that, but I think he's going to have the highest percentage of all the backs. But I do think that shift is going to happen. I think they took Tootin with the idea that he'll eventually be the guy, and it depends on how the season's playing out. Now, if Etienne's having a really good year, if he's averaging 4.9 yards a carry, and the Jags are winning football games, then why would you go away from him, right? And if that happens, then I'll be wrong. But if the Jags are, not quite ready to contend in the AFC South, do you reach a point in the season where you say, look, we want to really lean into more of these young guys? I think they're going to do it anyway. I do think to start, Etienne's got an advantage. And I don't think this is the week, as we were just talking about it, where he's going to lose that advantage. Training camp's really where this battle is going to come into focus, which is the same case for my number 3, which is offensive line combinations. Right? What are we going to see, and what are we going to be able to talk about in that regard? But right now, I feel fairly confident in 9 spots on the offensive line, knowing who these guys are going to be. And I think the Luke Fortner, Jonah Monheim competition is one to keep an eye on for the backup center spot. If Monheim impresses or shows he's not going to be overwhelmed as a 7th rounder, if he's forced into duty, they may go with him as the backup center. And let's also keep in mind that, let's say Hainsey is your starter, which we're presuming, and then you get an injury, and maybe you feel like, we're a little bit better at backup guard. You could see Makari sliding over there and playing some center, and a guy like maybe Chuma Edoga coming in. And I know people don't like to upset 2 different positions, but if you think that combination would be better than having a 7th-round rookie being your snapper, then maybe they go that way. But I think, whether they're the starters or not, Little, Cleveland, Hainsey, Makari, Anton Harrison should be on this team, unless, if Wyatt Milam just grabbed that left guard job by the throat and somebody came knocking on your door and offered something for Ezra Cleveland, maybe they consider dealing it. But I don't see him just being a cut. Fred Johnson, Chuma Edoga, Wyatt Milam, they're going to be on this team. Cole Van Lanen, I think, is going to be on this team. And then it's going to come down to Fortner or Monheim if they're keeping 10. Possibility they keep 11. As we talk about with Travis Hunter being a 2-way guy, do you feel good enough about that to count him as a full-time wide receiver and a full-time corner that you're saving a roster spot at one of those spots right there? And if that's the case, where are you allocating that extra spot? Maybe it's on the offensive line. Maybe it's at running back. But, what are the combinations? Does Anton Harrison get any chance to compete on the left side, or are they only looking at him as a right tackle? Is Walker Little getting pushed by Cole Van Lanen? Does it look like the rookie Wyatt Milam has a chance to start right out of the gates here? We're not going to get all the answers to that, but this is the continuation of a story that will bleed into training camp. And I'm hoping that they open up with training camp with a pretty clear idea, at least, of what they want to see. So this is your last chance to impress before then and give some confidence. I do think preseason games are going to play a big role in determining the ultimate combination of players and the starting lineup for this team. But all the different ways the O-line can be put together, I've got that at number 3 on my list. Let's get one more in before we hit the top of the hour break.
Number 2.
All right, number 2 for me is Travis Hunter's continued development. I mean, all eyes are on him everywhere we go. The way you put it, Dylan, Travis Hunter on defense. We get to see it for the first time, or at least the media gets to see it for the first time. Fans won't see that tomorrow. But it's more just about, I want to hear nothing but positive momentum continuing for this guy. Everything's been positive. He's been picking it up. He's a rare athlete. We see the foot quickness. We see the ball skills. I'm talking about, these are paraphrasing of coaching quotes that we've heard from his position coach, his head coach. He's delivered everything. Jeff Lageman called him one of the rarest athletes that he has seen, one of the best athletes he's ever seen associated with the National Football League. Is it nothing but positivity, or does he hit a stumbling block? My guess is he doesn't, right? Because nothing that's going to happen in minicamp, I don't think it's going to be all that much more complex than what he was facing in OTAs. The reason they were willing to give kind of a quarterback package to move up and get him is because they think he is that unicorn. That not only is he a unicorn in the sense of he's going to be a potential full-time 2-way player, but he's also arguably the best player at each of those positions in this draft. So everything that Travis Hunter does is going to be well chronicled for this team, but it doesn't make me any less interested. I don't have Travis Hunter fatigue yet, Dylan. Maybe I will if we're in.
Oh, it's not going to happen.
Well, if we're in week 4 and he's only got 5 catches.
Yeah, okay.
Right, you know what I mean? But I don't think that'll be the case.
Yeah, I was thinking more of like him talking about Travis Hunter. I don't think that's going to go away at all.
I don't either.
This season. I mean, it good, bad, or even him having average numbers. I think it's still going to be fine.
So the Travis Hunter story at number 2 for me. What's your number 2?
Number 2, another position group that I'm second most worried about, the safety. It could go a multiple different ways with a couple of guys, like you mentioned earlier, with Murray coming in as a free agent, a couple of guys they've drafted. Dewey just seems to be hanging around. One of the guys has been here had the longest run of being a Jaguar on the team. The safety position is the one that I'll be keying in on. I've been looking through Twitter right now as they're doing 11 on 11. Not really seeing a lot of safeties, at least in coverage. Tyson Campbell's in coverage for one, with covering Cephas from Jamal St. Cyr. So, is it going to be, a 5 or 6 different guys, or is it going to be, Coach Campanile eyeing on 2 or 3 guys? He's just not showing anybody up until training camp. The one name that we haven't talked about at all this offseason who played good 2 years ago was Antonio Johnson. Can he be a guy that can step up and perform and do well? So, I think that's a position group that you have to be well, because, Mike, how many times last year was somebody just running wide open?
Too many.
And not all the safety's fault, but the safety is usually the last minute defense.
Right. And some of it was miscommunications at times, right? Like guys thinking, I'm passing this player off to the next guy, and the next guy's not there. There are all kinds of issues they had. So fixing the communication on defense as a whole is a big priority. But if you had to bet right now, do you think it's Murray Ransall or Murray someone else as the opening day starting combo?
I'd probably lean Murray Ransall.
I probably would too, just because, new regime, you're taking that guy there with the idea you're going to get him on the field early. Now, if it's not, I think obviously overwhelmingly likely to be Darnell Savage along with Murray. It seems like Murray will be the guy at strong safety, just based on the investment. They went out and they saw something in him. They think he's a sure tackler, and that's a big part of it. Just, I don't know if they're looking for the spectacular as much as they're looking for the down-in, down-out competence with some of these guys, which we haven't always had in recent years. So you and I agree that's one of the top 5 storylines, the safety position. We've got number 1 coming up on the other side. We'll go around the league. Some interesting news as minicamps open up for 30 teams, which players are withholding their service right now. So we'll get into that as well. We've got Lauren Brooks scheduled to join us about 30 minutes from now, and that'll be about 15 minutes after practice wraps up this morning for minicamp day 1. So a lot to do coming up in the second hour of Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. From Pit Road to Victory Lane.
He'll bypass him on the back straightaway.
Sunday in Mexico City.
That should be all she wrote.
Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234. From the station with the most horsepower. 1010XL.
Mark your calendars. Chicken Salad Chick opens June 10th in Ortega Park on Roosevelt Boulevard. Be one of the first 100 in line on grand opening day and receive free chicken salad for a year. More details on Chicken Salad Chick Ortega Park Facebook page. See you there.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. We coat it all: garages, pool decks, driveways, and patios. Be the envy of your neighbors.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
It's a magical phone line.
Check this out.
It brings you things you can't get anywhere else, like insider insight from sports experts. Listen for the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Check. Every day on 1010XL.
Storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracts. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through June 30th. And financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Get it? With the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The 2025 season schedule has dropped, and single-game tickets are on sale now. Be at the bank to watch Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars take on the biggest names in the NFL. Don't miss your favorite matchup and secure your tickets now by visiting Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. See you this fall, Jags fans.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision.
I love it. Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high-interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians, ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
Hacker here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Look, the summer has arrived. Memorial Day is in the rearview mirror. It's vacation season for me, and over the next couple of weeks, whether it's a cruise, going out to Las Vegas, I'm going to bust out the tank tops, man. I'm going to show off the bod a little bit. Now, would I have done that 100 pounds ago? Of course not, but thanks to the great folks at Awaken 180 Weight Loss, I really have a new lease on life. It's life changing. I'm in the maintenance program now, doing really well, right? The weight is not coming back on. That's almost as rewarding, if not a little more rewarding. It's one thing to lose the weight. It's something else to keep it off. I've been able to do that with the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. If it's time in your life to make that change like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Your home is your sanctuary where memories are made. Jack's homeowners trust Superior Fence and Rail to make their home feel safe, secure, and complete. Imagine a classic wood fence for privacy, sturdy aluminum to protect your pets, or a modern vinyl design that boosts curb appeal. Every fence is built with precision and pride, standing strong in every season.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by TopDressing.com. The Jacksonville Jaguars have started their mandatory minicamp process. Minicamp will be open to fans tomorrow as the team does wind down their off-season program. Fans, you still can apply for free tickets at Jaguars.com. However, there is a maximum of 2 tickets per account. Practice tomorrow will be from 8:50 to 10:40 a.m. at the Miller Electric Center. Although Aiden King's standout rookie campaign is in the rear view, the accolades keep coming. The National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association honored King as a first-team freshman All-American. The Jacksonville, Florida native is the 31st first-team freshman All-American in Florida program history, including the 21st of the Kevin O'Sullivan era. Right now, 87 degrees at 10:58. Time in 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, thank you to RJ Saunders for that 1010XL update. We've got number one in our countdown coming up, Dylan. We'd like to look at some of the top fives people have submitted. A lot of the same overlap, right? You're always going to have some overlap in these because there are only so many storylines, and you want to talk about your top ones. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence going to be a big part of it. Travis Hunter going to be a big part of it, on and on and on. Lauren Brooks about 20 minutes away. She'll join us live post minicamp day 1. Jags on the field again tomorrow, open to the public if you've secured your free ticket at Jaguars.com. And then one more, I'm hoping, for Thursday. Because I've never been a fan of coaches wrapping it up. Now, you got a veteran-laden team, and you've been together for a while in the same system. That can be a different story. First opportunity, learning a new offense, learning a new defense. I take advantage of every opportunity I have to be on the field. Here's one on the text line, Dylan, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Good morning, Jaguars Today. Well, good morning to you. My question is, why hasn't Travis Hunter signed a contract yet? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I know they're slotted. He's not the only one who hasn't signed his contract, but I don't have any concern that it may be a little bit more complicated. There is a slotting system, but I don't know how much they're allowed to incentivize it because he's in a unique situation, right? He's going to make plays on both sides of the ball. Ultimately, he may be looking at a contract that's unprecedented in NFL history, not his rookie deal, because, again, there's a slotted system, but I think it'll get done. Do you see Travis? I saw a post yesterday. He agreed to purchase a home in Deerwood.
Yes, I saw that post.
Like 3-point-something million. I don't think he's worried about getting the contract.
No, and I mean, everybody else is in minicamp right now, and you're seeing quite a few guys holding out. Not rookies, but, guys that are trying to get their second, third contract. I'm not. It's not even a storyline.
It's not for me. It's not, but I understand. It's not the only person who's asked me this, and I'm just not in any way, shape, or form concerned about this. Now, we get a week out from training camp, and he doesn't have his deal done, then I'm going to start to question what the holdup is. But keep in mind, there is that performance-based pay that you can get at the end of the year, right? For guys like James Robinson, when he had that terrific rookie season, was being paid as an undrafted free agent because that's what he was. Lowest of the low. But there's a pool of money that when you exceed the expectations of what you're being paid, I guess. I don't know what the formula is exactly. Then at the end of the year, there's always a list of guys that made incentive-based pay, sometimes more than $1 million or so extra that they get. I would think Travis Hunter is going to be very high on that list, Dylan, because you're going to pay him you're paying him as a number 2 pick. Let's say he stays healthy. I'm going to be conservative. Let's say he has 70 catches this year for 850 yards and 6 touchdowns. Okay, that's not crazy. Oh, but then, wait a minute, he has 3 or 4 interceptions and 10 pass breakups on defense as well. Then, you're saying, well, how does that compare to the typical rookie? I think he's going to do well in that. Somebody on the text line said, Travis already has a boat. He's good. Well, who knows how much money? I don't know what he made at Colorado, but I got to imagine he made a good bit, right, in today's NIL climate. So, again, I don't know the reason behind that, but I would guess that the team would say, hey, got plenty of time, not worried about it. It's going to get done. And as long as it is done by training camp, then who cares? I don't, anyway. You can. It's not a concern to me at this point in time. Let's put it that way. Could it become one? Sure. I don't think it will. Let's get to a look around the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Man, for a moment in time, Logan Cook of the Jaguars was the NFL's highest paid punter as the Jags extended him yesterday. 4-year deal, averaging $4 million per season. And then shortly afterwards, Michael Dixon got a deal that topped that from Seattle, $4.2 million, $16.2 on a 4-year extension. So $4,050,000 is what he's going to get. And they wanted, I guess, Michael Dixon to have the mantle of being the highest paid punter. So be it. Hope Logan Cook is satisfied that lasted for all of a couple of hours yesterday, but well worth it, man. I mean, that's a guy that does his job, and you don't have to worry about Logan Cook. In fact, it's shocking when Logan Cook gets off a punt less than to his standard. So he's been fantastic. Hope he and Cam Little and Ross Matisic are around as that trio of specialists for a long, long time, because they all seem to be really, really good at what they do. But Logan Cook, not any long, didn't go to bed as the highest paid punter in the National Football League, but that's okay, I'm sure. All right, several veterans not showing up for mandatory minicamps this week. Jalen Ramsey is excused down in Miami as the team seeks a trade for him, which could be more complicated now with Jair Alexander getting officially released yesterday by the Green Bay Packers. Nobody obviously traded for Jair. Now, he has got injury concerns, but he's due to make about $4 million less than Ramsey. If you could go out and sign Jair Alexander right now without any draft pick compensation, Dylan, are you giving up a pick for Ramsey to pay him over $20 million? I don't know that you are.
Probably not.
I think the Jair Alexander domino will fall first before the Ramsey domino falls. Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks last year. Well, not going to be on the practice field this week for the Cincinnati Bengals, as they've made no progress on a multi-year contract extension. And he said on May 13th, he will not play for Cincinnati without a new deal. He is, like all veterans who are not excused, subject to fines for skipping minicamp, like TJ Watt, who's not in attendance at Pittsburgh's mandatory minicamp. He also seeking a long-term deal. No progress has been made, it seems, this offseason. Also subject to fines along the way. And Jermaine Pratt, who is one of the leading tacklers in the National Football League last year, had requested a trade from the Bengals earlier this offseason. The reporting is that the Cincinnati Bengals are a little dysfunctional on defense. They fired their coordinator, Lou Anarumo, and Pratt just wanted out. Apparently, they didn't find anybody who would take him off their hands. Had a team best 143 tackles last year, but also had 20 missed tackles, according to Pro Football Focus. So if you're looking for an inside linebacker, Jermaine Pratt is available on the market right now. And that's your look around the National Football League, Dylan, which brings us to the top of the countdown.
Number 1.
All right, give us your 5 through 2 recap first, please.
All right, 5 is, are we going to see Travis Hunter on defense? It happened this morning. Number 4 was is Trevor going to take another step in this offense during minicamp? The urgency is up a little bit on minicamp as compared to OTAs. Who's getting the reps at safety for 3? Number 2, the running back reps was 3. Number 2 was the safety reps. And number 1 for me, the offensive line. Are we going to see a mishmash of guys switching out in the interior? I still think it's going to be Walker Little left tackle, Anton Harrison at right tackle. For the offensive line, can all the guys, is Milam going to be starting? Is he going to be the backup getting some reps? Because regardless of how this offense is and what we think about Trevor and the receivers on the outside and how good De'Ami Brown has been in OTAs thus far and getting carries at running backs, whoever that is, none of that matters as if this offensive line continues to play in the bottom 5 like it did in the league last year. If you look at the best teams in the league last year, or really any year in the last couple of years, the best teams usually have the best offensive lines. And there's outliers. You have the Bengals a couple of years ago when they went to the Super Bowl, but Joe Burrow played out of his mind. Jamar Chase played out of his mind. This offensive line is going to key in on if this team can win a division, win 10 games, or if this team is not going to do well, win 5, 6, or 7.
Okay. For me, 5 through 2, we had very similar lists, and we don't compare notes ahead of time on this. We just had them in a different order. I had who impresses at safety at 5, running back rotation at 4, offensive line and the combinations that they're experimenting with at 3, Travis Hunter's continued development at 2. But for me, the top of the list, well, why don't we fire up today's 10-10 take? Dylan Denmark.
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
I don't disagree with the offensive line is extremely important, but like for me, in terms of what I want to follow this week, Travis Hunter's more exciting than that. It is very important that this is more of what I'm interested in hearing about. It's still Trevor Lawrence at the top of the heap for me. Top of all this. If the offensive line plays well and Trevor doesn't, and obviously the line gives him a better chance, then you're not going to be able to achieve your goals this year. You can sometimes scheme up issues on an offensive line. It's tougher, I think, to scheme up issues with your quarterback, right? Now, you try to put him in the best position to succeed. What are the plays and the passes that he feels most comfortable with? Let's lean into that aspect or that portion of the playbook. But Trevor's command of the offense, Dylan, I don't need to hear, defense has had a good day and Trevor had 3 picks, and I want to hear that I'd rather hear Trevor is torching this secondary than vice versa. I mean, he's got as good a pair of receivers, we think. It'll prove to be as good a pair of receivers as we've had since the heyday of Thunder and Lightning back in the 90s. So, I mean, it is what it is. The excuses have dwindled to very few for Trevor Lawrence. Yes, it's a new offense, but it's a guy who came in and in his 1 year in Tampa took Baker Mayfield to heights never seen before, statistically at least. And I think the weapons are here in place. I'm not saying they're an identical carbon copy of what Tampa had. I mean, Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer, but BTJ right now is an ascending star in this league, and Travis Hunter's expected to be. And, we'll see about De'Ami Brown. He looks good in OTAs, and hopefully in minicamp will that continue on. But if Trevor doesn't have command, if he doesn't have that pre-snap recognition, I'm not saying you can know all this week, but it's another step in the journey towards it. This is the most important storyline to me. Travis Hunter's the most fun storyline, maybe the easiest one to follow, the one that most people are going to talk about. But in the end, if Trevor doesn't play up to a higher standard consistently, if we see what we've seen, the best of Trevor, but we get that over 17 games, I think he's going to be really, really good this year. But let's see it 15 out of 17 times within the same season. Nobody's going to have a great week every week. Oh, some might, but that's not my expectation. Make it so you don't have to overcome the quarterback to win a football game, that he's not setting you back, that he's not misfiring in the red zone, that his ball security isn't poor in the pocket. All this footwork shift, you can drill it. You used to do this with Byron and that release, Byron Leftwich. And then you get under pressure and you generally go back to muscle memory from over the years, what you've been used to doing. Can Trevor Lawrence clean that up and have his fallback be the new normal of whatever they're trying to get him to do with his feet, with his accuracy? I mean, there's so many aspects of it. I think he's got all the tools that are there. I think he's got the coaching staff that can bring it out. I think he's got the weapons. We'll find out if he's got the protection to go with it. I'm hopeful. They certainly have invested in that offensive line group, but Trevor's got to get it done, man. And I'm hopeful that he will, but that's, to me, the top storyline that I want to follow throughout the course of the week. So there you have it, our Tuesday Top 5. We'll get to a few of yours as we close out the hour. But coming up, we got Lauren Brooks from Helmets and Heels, who was out at practice this morning. She's going to give us a few minicamp observations, and hopefully we'll be able to turn around some of the thoughts of Liam Cohen so we can bring you that audio before the hour is out as well. Mike Dempsey and Dylan Denmark. Tony Smith's got the week off. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Rick Ballou, the truth teller.
You're popular with the public, but I don't have to tell you, I don't have a lot of friends in high places.
Rick Ballou takes you into the night.
Means I got to do a little acting. I'm cool with that.
No acting. Weeknights on 1010XL.
Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. You know what? Any day starts off a little bit better with the right food in your belly. And whether it's breakfast, maybe you skip breakfast and you want a little early lunch, Danny's got you covered any time of day. You just swing into an area gate station, enjoy some of that AC as you pick out one of your selections from Dandy or the Anytime Deli line of sandwiches and subs. And it's so much more than just that. The gate station up here on South Side, man, I roll in there. There are over 30 different Dandy varieties, from protein packs to veggie trays to fruit cups. Love that classic tuna salad on white or wheat. Full line of sandwiches and subs. Full breakfast menu as well from Dandy. Just a couple of items you can pick up, pop in the microwave, eat them hot. Always fresh, always delicious, super convenient, and made with the highest quality ingredients. Dandy is the name to know in Duval when you're hungry for food on the go. So when you are, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy and do it today.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Are you experiencing high energy bills? Now is the time to upgrade your old inefficient windows and doors. Don't miss Renewal by Anderson's 30th anniversary sale. For a limited time, buy one, get 130% off all windows and patio doors. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com now to take advantage of this incredible offer. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Renewal by Anderson. Superior products, exceptional service. Restrictions apply. License number CGC1527613.
Hello, I'm attorney Malcolm Anthony. Being charged with domestic violence can turn your life upside down. If you're in trouble, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Have you been diagnosed with moderate to severe opioid use disorder? You may qualify for a new clinical research study. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso is now enrolling participants to evaluate the effectiveness of a non-opioid medication treatment option for OUD. Qualified participants will receive study-related care at no cost and may be eligible for reimbursement of travel and accommodations. To qualify, applicants must be 18 to 65 years old, have been diagnosed with moderate to severe opioid use disorder, and have not been on medication to treat opioid use in the last 3 months. The study lasts up to 22 weeks, with weekly visits during treatment. If you're ready to explore a new path forward, visit OUDstudy.com for more details and qualifications. Take the first steps and visit OUDstudy.com. That's OUDstudy.com. OUDstudy.com.
I'm Max Fink, and I'm your Gator Updater. Listen for the Gator Report several times a week on 1010XL.
Freshened up by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators!
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
I'm Drew Scrimshire, president and publisher of the Jacksonville Business Journal. In business, timing is everything. That's why every morning at 8:15, our morning edition delivers the most important business news straight to the inboxes of Jacksonville's decision makers, executives, entrepreneurs, investors, and industry leaders. Want to know what the First Coast power players are reading before they start their day? Join them. Subscribe today to the Jacksonville Business Journal Morning Edition at bizjournals.com/Jacksonville.
Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach or visit apexroofingfl.com.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Saw a tweet from 1010XL's Rick Ballou. Liam Cohen speaking after practice. Trevor Lawrence, who did throw in practice today, wearing a sling at points, I guess, during mandatory minicamp. Liam Cohen described it as general soreness. So hopefully we'll hear from Liam Cohen that and anything else having to do with Trevor Lawrence coming up before the hour is out. By the way, condolences to the Ballou family. I saw Rick lost his dad. His dad passed away, and saw a tweet on that yesterday, so wanted to just put that out there. And so he's back at it, though, today out at minicamp, as was our own Lauren Brooks from Helmets and Heels, joining us now on the Checkmate Coatings hotline. Lauren, good morning.
Hello, Mike. How are you?
I'm well. Tell me, how's Trevor Lawrence? I obviously, whatever's going on, Liam Cohen said general soreness. It didn't keep him from participating, it sounds like, today in the minicamp practice.
It was just a sleeve on his right arm that he didn't wear at all during OTAs, at least during the portions that the media was allowed out to see on that right arm. But, yeah, when Liam Cohen talks about it after, and, of course, being a former quarterback, he understands this. He said he just wanted to keep it warm. Trevor, just sometimes for your shoulder and your arm, it's better after you've been throwing so much, which he has, to keep that arm and shoulder a little warmer. So that's the extent of it. It did not seem to affect Trevor.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was his best day necessarily, so I guess I shouldn't say it definitely didn't affect him. But from my vantage point, it just seemed normal, like a normal day for Trevor. I just thought he was maybe a little late on a few throws, missed some open guys. But for the most part, Mike, the defense once again brought the juice, and those pass rushers, had it been a real game, they were getting home.
Well, that could be good, Lauren, but that could be terrible. Right? I mean, you always take the yin and the yang of it. Okay, sure. Defense had a great day. Offense necessarily didn't then, possibly. Travis Hunter, get the media's first opportunity to watch him on defense today, right?
Yes, that is correct. And I will say it's not like we got to see him go up against Brian Thomas Jr. or anything like that, but he was playing DB at times, and so, or not at times, he was always playing DB today. I'm assuming tomorrow he'll play receiver. But I wouldn't say he made any splash plays like what we saw in that video,
sure,
last week. He's a guy, though, that Liam Cohen said after practice, he's able to pick everything up, both offensively and defensively, and that's impressive, even though, yes, he did it at Colorado. This is a whole other level. So, yeah, I was excited to see him play defense, but there weren't any interceptions that I can brag about, as far as Travis Hunter goes. And going back to that defensive line versus the offensive line, I asked Liam Cohen that question post-practice because, to me, it was clear that the defensive line was getting the best of the offensive line, and he said this time of year is really hard to evaluate the offensive line, and I don't think he was making an excuse for them. I just think he was trying to tell us, like, look, I'm not judging them based off of these reps. The defensive line has the advantage in moments like this.
Well, it's not full pads, right? So you can't really physically. I mean, there's some contact in even these non-contact practices. It's just the nature of big bodies flying around out there. All right, so we have followed De'Ami Brown having, whenever OTAs have been over to the media, he has gotten a lot of targets. Did he or any of the other receivers stand out to you today?
Yeah, to me today it was a lot more of Brian Thomas Jr. getting the targets from Trevor Lawrence. And at times he was battling Tyson Campbell, and Tyson Campbell would win. There was one ball that was literally like 10 feet in front of me that I feel like Brian Thomas Jr. would normally catch it over the head of the defender, and he just wasn't able to come down with it. So I would say Tyson Campbell probably had the little bit better of a day. certainly De'Ami Brown had some catches, don't get me wrong, but I saw way more of Trevor's passes going the way of Brian Thomas Jr.
Did we have good ball security from the running backs, from what you could tell?
I did not see any fumbles, so
That's
that is
good.
good news.
Yeah.
I did not see any fumbles. But, yeah, overall, the biggest takeaway for me today is the tempo and the competition. The tempo was increased, and they wanted to simulate some game-like situations. So they had, whether it's 3rd and 10 from the 10 or 3rd and 7 from the 7 or the 2-minute drill to finish practice, things like that. I think last week they focused a lot on red zone, and then today certainly it was a lot more of trying to replicate what it's going to be like in a game for these players. And, of course, these rookies have never experienced all this before, so it's fun to watch them and see how they're fitting in. But I'm always impressed that we don't hear screaming from these coaches at these guys this time of year. And I feel like for a rookie, if you're not getting screamed at, that means you at least understand where you're supposed to be and you understand the assignment.
Yeah, because it does seem like, particularly on defense, every defense coordinator wants to chew somebody's ass at some point in time.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So, all right. Well, in terms of the rookies, right, we know Travis Hunter's going to be a huge focal point on both sides of the ball. Wyatt Milam, many people think he'll unseat Ezra Cleveland. You're not going to be able to tell that in a 3-day non-padded minicamp. Bajal Tootin, we'll see. If he can become this year's Bucky Irving. What about Caleb Rance, Lauren? Not just today, just have you had an impression of him in the times I've been out there? Sometimes I have to leave before the team session goes on, but I don't, there's nothing, I'm not saying he's done anything wrong. He just hasn't done anything to me that has caught my eye yet. Do you hear much buzz about him or any talk about him from the coaching staff?
Yeah, it's a good question because from what we're able to see, it doesn't seem like he's necessarily a guy that's made any splash plays. Like I haven't, like you said, I haven't looked out on the field and when they're in team drills gone, oh wow, like Caleb Rance made that pass breakup or something like that. I think they want him to win the job, and I'm guessing opposite Eric Murray, but I think everything is a competition when it comes to the secondary outside of Tyson Campbell and Jordan Lewis playing nickel. But, yeah, in other words, I haven't had a lot of buzz being mentioned to me about Caleb Ransaw. But based off of where they drafted him, where they drafted Wyatt Milam, to your point, like you would expect that they want them to become the starters. For me, along the offensive line, I've really only seen, and I'm not going to say who, but I've really only seen one position be rotated. For the most part, it seems like the other ones, again, without pads, are pretty locked in, at least as of now.
All right, one more for you here. We're talking with Lauren Brooks, so you'll hear more of her thoughts coming up on Helmets and Heels from noon to 2 today. Lauren, you mentioned the pass rush really seemed to have a nice day. I presume Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon were flashing. Who else stood out to you among those defensive linemen or linebackers, whoever is getting penetration?
Yeah, a huge day for Trayvon Walker for sure. Josh Hines-Allen always has good days. And then I would say Emmanuel Agba stood out to me today as well. And, like you said, is this a huge day for the defensive line or is it just an atrocious day for the offensive line? It seemed like, to me, Fred Johnson on the offensive line did have a good day going up against some of the defensive linemen, but almost every other offensive lineman was getting pushed back. I think, I did see Swan Smoot. They're like getting some good rush too, so I'll throw him in there. But yeah, to me, if you walked away from practice, you definitely saw 41 and 44 jump off the page, as they should.
All right, exactly. For every positive, there is that potential negative, and who knows, maybe the offense will have their way with them tomorrow. That sometimes is the way it goes in these off-season practices. Lauren, do you have any sense whether or not they're going to give them that third day vacation day, or are they going to take advantage of the last couple of opportunities to be on the field before training camp?
Yeah, I feel like tomorrow we'll get a better idea of that as far as, how it looks and things like that.
Right.
To me, if they want to continue working on these situational downs, then they should use all 3 days. And it is a new staff, so they get to, I think, design, their plan and implement it and maybe give them a lighter day on the third day, but I would expect them to be on the field. And then, of course, watch after practice tomorrow, Liam Cohen will say, no, we're going to do some team building and media is not invited, and there you go. But if I was them, I would certainly continue, maybe not have Trevor Lawrence throw as much if he does have some soreness, but, use some of your backup QBs at that point in time. But, yeah, I would like to see them on the field all 3 days, at least from my vantage point. family.
All right. Lauren Brooks, as I said, with Helmets and Heels, along with Taylor Dalmia O'Brien, coming up from noon to 2 today. Lauren, I have a feeling I'm going to see you walk by the window here any minute now, but definitely appreciate you. What's that?
I was going to say, I did just go over the bridge. So
okay. So you're not that close yet. All right. So you're making your way back.
It was a little longer because we also heard from Logan Cook following practice, and then Liam Cohen, and then I left before media got to hear from Jordan Lewis. But yeah, Logan Cook, of course, the second highest paid punter in all of the NFL.
Right.
Talking about his new contract.
Didn't get to go to bed as the highest paid punter in the NFL, but I think he'll be okay.
Well, he went to bed as it, right? And then he woke up to the news, maybe?
I think probably woke up to the news, but in fact, I think the deal got done yesterday with Dick. So in reality, he probably wasn't the highest paid punter. But who cares? You know what? We're not going to trade him for anybody, and he'll make more in the first year of that new deal than he made in the entirety of his rookie contract. And good for him. He's earned it. You know, he's
absolutely
been exceptional.
And like you said, he's got 2 boys, and he's got one on the way. It's a lovely family, the Cook family. And so, yeah, he said, you know, people who say money doesn't matter, they're lying. Like, it does matter, especially when you have a family. But it's just so crazy to me. He's going to play 4 years, make $16 million. And a guy like De'Ami Brown's going to play 1 year and get $10 million. Like,
right.
Obviously, the quarterbacks make $1 billion as well.
Yeah, well, that's just, you know, life in a big city. And, good for Logan Cook, though. As far as punters go, he's very well compensated, as LB should be. I don't know what your zeros look like on your paycheck, but they probably need to add one.
Boy, thank you, Mike. And by the way, Logan Cook did admit that he did not have a good game when they were in Vegas. And we almost never see Logan Cook off, you know, as far as punting goes.
Right.
He just said he was off when they were in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, and obviously our show was there, so got to go to that game, and it was, not his best day by any means. But I like when a player is willing to admit, and granted, it's a punter, so the publicity is not nearly the same as if a quarterback or a receiver, running back, whatever, have a bad day. But either way, good, like you said, good for the Cook family, and I'll take all the extra zeros you want to give me.
Well, I was going to say, right up until then I just put it together, maybe we need to blame Helmets and Heels for his poor performance in Vegas. So I may take everything back. All right, Lauren, we'll see you back in the building shortly. Thanks for hopping on with us this morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, there she goes, Lauren Brooks with Helmets and Heels coming your way in just about 20 minutes or so. All right, when we come back, we'll hear a little bit from Liam Cohen. What's the deal with Trevor Lawrence? We'll try to be detectives here, Dylan, as we listen to the tone of voice, just how casually he is speaking about the general soreness, apparently, that Trevor is experiencing. That coming up, and we'll look at some of your top fives as well. The Chad and Sandy real estate question today, looking at your top 5 storylines for the Jaguars during the 3-day minicamp. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Summer days last longer. Does that mean there's more time for 1010XL?
Exactly.
Bingo.
Keep it cool with 1010XL. Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Their hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Attention business owners and property managers. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Is your property ready? Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter for expert storm drain cleaning and hydrojetting. Our powerful VACCON truck clears the way so your drains flow freely when the rain hits. Call 904-862-6769 today to schedule your service and protect your property before the storms start rolling in. Duck Duck Rooter, your trusted name in storm drain maintenance. Visit us at duckduckrooter.com. We're a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
New year, new club. This is Joe C., and I'm proud to be a member of Southampton. And with the popularity of golf, getting a tee time is tough. But with membership comes member privileges. Enjoy clubhouse dining, expanded practice area, focusing on all parts of your game. And right now, you can join with an annual commitment and get a $1,000 discount, plus $500 of Pro Shop credit. All the details are online at golfsouthampton.com or call 287-PLAY and make a tee time today at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Send your favorite person a sweet summer surprise today from Kuhn Flowers, creating memories for over 70 years. This is Max, and it's just so easy. Order online at kuhnflowers.com. Jacksonville and Ponte Vedra.
It's about the hunt.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lagerman.
We take you from the water to the woods.
On the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
Let's go to the woods, y'all.
Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
June is Men's Health Month. Be proactive towards your prostate, ED, low T, even kidney stones with Ackerman Urology. Offices in Mandarin, Middleburg, the Beaches, and World Golf Village. Trust the men's health experts at AckermanUrology.com.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open-air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Prosser here. It's a great time to sell your home, and I got just the people to sell it for you. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down, activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though. Hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize your hassle, that's the key. And I've been telling you who those experts are. Are you listening? I recommend Chad and Sandy Newman. Go to chadandsandy.com, the local real estate experts you can trust with the sale of your home. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. So whatever problems you think you have, I've got you this promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. There you go. Simple as that. Christopher on Anastasia Island. My home was too big for my needs. I wanted someplace smaller and easier to manage. I got multiple offers and sold in 3 days with Chad and Sandy. You can too at chadandsandy.com or 904-414-6200.
Grow your hair back. IHRS offers the latest technology in hair transplants and restorative treatments.
Fast, easy, and effective.
With over 35 years experience, our team is committed to delivering exceptional results. Hair restoration is for us, and it can be for you too.
See how IHRS technology can grow your hair back. Go to hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS, 777-4477 for $250 off.
Are you ready to play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Get it? With the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, let's make a correction here. All right, as you heard Lauren Brooks talk about Trevor wearing a sleeve on his right arm today. We're going to hear Liam Cohen talking about that in just a minute. Rick Blue had tweeted out earlier that he was in a sling. Big difference to me between a sleeve and a sling, Dylan. My elbow gets sore, I'll play golf, I'll put an elbow sleeve on. Right? If I'm in a sling trying to immobilize that thing, I think that is a step beyond. To me, Rick then, I guess, corrected his tweet and said a sleeve, and others, John Shipley, have said that it was a sleeve, not a sling. To me, huge difference between the two, at least in the optics, right? And look, I don't want to hear about any soreness with Trevor Lawrence and his throwing arm or any other part of his body, for that matter. I was, very hopeful that, all right, if it's a sling, maybe it's just kind of like soreness in the shoulder that he had some work on, but the non-throwing shoulder, but apparently a sleeve, not a sling. Liam Cohen asked about that after practice today.
No, I think he just had a little bit of just general soreness. We threw a lot of balls kind of last week and really leading up into, he feels good. He said it wasn't really an issue. It was more sometimes when you just have something to keep it warm, it just helps, any type of thrower. So I think that was more just maintenance than it is anything that's really bothering him.
All right, Dylan. I'll put him on the lie detector test. Are you trusting that comment from Liam Cohen?
Yes. The warm part, I don't know about it. I mean, I don't know how much a sleeve is going to keep your arm warm, but yeah, it being through a lot of balls, maintenance, I believe him.
Yeah, it's the tone of his voice seems very unconcerned, right? And we were just talking on the break and compare that to when D'Amico Ryans got asked about C.J. Stroud, and he was kind of evasive, like, C.J. about that.
He went on for like a minute. Liam Cohen was very direct. He knew he kind of. It seemed like he knew this could have been a problem. It was one today, and he faced the music.
Right. I mean, even if you're an NFL quarterback, there's a limit. Guys get a break at a certain point. They did have what do they have? 4 days of OTA practice last week. Anyway, Liam Cohen being a former quarterback, I'm going to take him at his word here. And again, it's more the tone of voice that seemed unconcerned with this whole thing. The warm thing, like I get it how a sleeve can keep you warm, but I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback just say, I want to keep the arm. Like if you're not going back in, and I don't know at what point this occurred. Like if you go to the sleeve, did he continue to throw after that?
Yeah, I mean, usually you see that from baseball pitchers. Like, in October when it's cold outside, they'll put like one sleeve of like the
a jacket, right?
Yeah,
but when we're talking about a sleeve, we're talking about a compression sleeve.
Right.
Is that what he's wearing here? And again, I'm going to take Liam Cohen at his word. It's no big deal. General soreness, but it does make me wonder.
Do you think that the soreness, if it carries over to tomorrow, that they'll probably have a more likely chance of not doing a minicamp on Thursday?
That's interesting because, here's the thing. If he's sore, if he's able to participate tomorrow, but he's still sore, then maybe that does make it more likely. What if, out of an abundance of caution, they decide, let's not have him throw on back-to-back days, right? Which would be a disappointment for the fans going out there. But, that's not your major concern if you're Liam Cohen. And so Trevor, let's say, doesn't throw tomorrow, then do you want him to have this be the last day he throws before training camp to any of his teammates? I don't know the answer to these things, but it's certainly something to follow along with tomorrow. Let's get a couple more in from Liam Cohen. By the way, Liam Cohen speaking after practice. Grant Udinski, Jags offense coordinator, speaking after practice. The new money man, Logan Cook, speaking after practice. And new nickel corner, Jordan Lewis, speaking after practice today. Plus, you're going to get your usual variety of one-on-one interviews from the 1010XL contingent. So there's going to be a ton of audio you'll hear all day long here on 1010XL. Fresh stuff that just happened in the last 40 minutes. And certainly tomorrow on Jaguars Today, we're going to get to a lot of this stuff that we're not going to have time for in the next 10 minutes or so. Hopefully we'll get a camp report. We're going to reach out to Tommy Mack for tomorrow, and we'll have fresh Liam Cohen after practice tomorrow. So we're going to have wall-to-wall Jaguar audio for you tomorrow from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Do I owe McManus $1 when I say the horse's mouth? I don't know if that's okay. I don't? Okay, that's good. What is Liam Cohen looking for overall out of this minicamp?
just a little bit uptick in the competition. Just trying to put them in some more game-like situations, whereas maybe the majority of OTAs, even though we do situational football every day, it's typically in a jog-through setting, a little bit slower paced. We've been mainly operating either off of a script or call it periods of, first down, second down, third down, red zone, but went a little bit more specific today in the red zone with like 3rd and 10 on the 10, 3rd and 7 on the 7, those gotta have it type situations, and then obviously ended with some 2-minute work as well. So trying to simulate a little bit more game-like competition, game-like situations, put them in some more pressure, let the mind go a little bit more as the fatigue starts to set in, and try to create as much sameness as we can to a game.
All right, get a little bit more from Liam Cohen coming up here. John Shipley, Jaguar Report, great friend of the program, friend of 1010XL, tweeted out a picture about 10 minutes ago of Trevor in that same sleeve last week at OTAs, right? And we didn't really hear a peep about it. So here's my thinking, Dylan. If he is dealing with some general soreness because he's throwing the ball a ton, if they were really concerned that there was an issue with the arm, would they have even had him throw today? And he clearly participated in practice today. So maybe it's as simple as that, like, hey, you know what? It's been very intense, the amount of balls we've been throwing at this time of the year, working in new guy in Travis Hunter, new guy in De'Ami Brown, new offense in general. And now he'll have an extended period off before training camp. I would say this from me, not being a doctor, just being a layman. If Trevor Lawrence needs his sleeve in training camp, it's going to be a little bit more concerning to me. But, it is interesting that this was out there. There were probably some photos floating around of it, and we didn't make any big deal.
Notice it,
right? Didn't know. But when that tweet goes out that he's in a sling, which he's not, by the way, then you're thinking, wait a minute, this elevate to something more. So, there goes our being able to mock C.J. Stroud, though, for missing practice with general soreness. I guess we can mock him because Trevor hasn't missed practice.
Not yet.
At least not yet.
Let's not speak into it.
Right. All right. No speaking that into existence. All right. One more from Liam Cohen on the growth of, you guessed it, Travis Hunter.
Both physically and mentally, there's been some growth. I saw some muscles coming out of his arms, and he's done a great job. And like I said, in the weight room with the conditioning, he's doing multiple meetings a day. I'd have to go back and watch the tape and see how he actually performed. But as you know, like on defense as a DB, usually if they're not calling your name, it's typically a good thing. So I'll have to go back and watch, but I think he's done a nice job in terms of communicating with the guys. He has a little bit of a benefit of knowing some of our plays in some ways, but I don't think that's made any changes. But maybe like formationally, he can anticipate maybe a little bit more, but he's also a little bit behind, obviously, from a terminology and defensive communication. I thought he did a good job, and he integrates himself so well with those guys no matter what. So I think he's had some progress for sure.
I always do wonder about that, right? Defense ahead of offense in practice. Well, at what point does the defense recognize, well, this is probably what they're running here, right? Because we see it every single day. So there's a little bit of that. But Travis Hunter, it would be easy to tell if he's got some new muscle popping there, Denmark, because my man is, probably could eat a biscuit or two and still be okay.
He'd burn it off in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that metabolism's got to be absolutely crazy, but that's when you play 140 snaps a game or whatever he did at times in college. I guess that's understandable that he's not exactly a heavyweight defensive back. Here are a few top 5 submitted today about storylines people want to follow. Hazel-eyed Jag on Twitter, defensive tackle position, offensive line across the board, safety, running back, and linebacker, how those position groups are going to work out. Hardy Bro said 5, did the Jags escape injury-free? Well, let's hope so. 4, who's impressing on the O-line? 3, does Ransall look like a natural fit at safety? 2, is the offense winning the majority of the days versus the defense? No, so far. It's an 0 for 1. And is Trevor's improvement noticeable? Tom McManus, Dylan said, just kind of basically echoed a lot of what Lauren said, right? Trevor wasn't particularly sharp. Offensive line would have given up a few sacks today. Defensive pass rush was evident. Let's see, one more from Ed. Who's playing where on the O-line? How do the coaches make corrections? How's pass coverage coming along with the safeties and linebackers in the right spot? How do the basics of the offense look in terms of pre-snap errors lining up correctly? Are they having issues with that? And everything Travis Hunter, which we're all interested in hearing about. All right, so that'll do it for our Tuesday here. And now we're going to find out about everything Taylor Dahl.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
My heart, Taylor, the big difference to me between a sleeve and a sling. Okay?
Yeah.
The first report out there was that Trevor was in a sling. He was in a sleeve, which he apparently wore at times last week. I'm going to take Liam Cohen at his word that it's no big deal. It's more the tone of Liam Cohen's voice seemed extremely unconcerned. And as a former quarterback, I would think he'd have a little insight into that.
Yeah, I think that's all we can do right now. You don't want to hit the panic button too much. And I know we've obviously kind of had the conversations about CJ Stroud and what's been going out in Houston. Today I saw clips he was running. Yeah, I mean, he was throwing today. So now it's kind of the situation where we're going through the same thing. But yeah, you can only take it to what the coach says. And I think sometimes, especially in coach speak, they'll say certain things, but you can still get vibes that it's another way, and it didn't feel that way to me. So we'll see. Hopefully everything's okay though.
Right. Now, if it ever turns out to be something everyone's going to say, oh, you suckers, believe.
You believed him. Okay. Yes. Why he hasn't given me a reason not to yet.
This is more of a body language, tone of voice deal with me. And he got asked about it. He's like, this is more about just keeping it warm, and we've been throwing a lot of balls. And then seeing John Shipley tweet out a picture from, hey, here was last week. He was in it as well. It was never
we were never talking about it.
I think the sling thing put it on the radar, and fortunately that was erroneous, not the case. So what's coming up on Helmets and Heels?
Yeah, so a lot of Jaguars talk. Obviously, Udinski talked today. Liam Cohen talked today. Jordan Lewis talked today. So we'll get into some of that, including Logan Cook. Also, Mia spoke with Dewey, so we'll hear from Dewey on our show. She had a one-on-one with him. So, yeah, a lot of Jaguars, a lot of kind of similar what we're looking forward to and during this mandatory mini camp, things we want to keep an eye out on for. So, yeah, a lot of Jacks.
All right, there you go. Wall-to-wall Jaguars. Where else are you going to get that but on your flagship home for your Jacksonville Jaguars? Taylor, have a great show.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. All right, that'll do it for us today. Dylan, thanks again to Lauren Brooks, who you hear from coming up with Taylor in just a few moments for joining us post-practice minicamp day one. It's Trevor Sleeve Watch going into tomorrow, Dylan, as it's open to the public. By the time we're on the air, if you're going to minicamp, you'll already be out there. So hopefully you'll catch us on the way out of there after 11 o'clock, and you'll be able to hear. We'll bring you as much audio as we can from not only today, but tomorrow as well. So that'll do it for us. Thanks for playing along with the Tuesday Top 5. For Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. Don't forget Fat Tony's got the week off. Jaguars Today returns tomorrow from 10 to noon on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
I told y'all to get off of T-Law.
Jaguars Today.